the end of the day, I think he was not fleeing a crime scene. I think he believed that he was fleeing for his life.
I was a victim of a shooting that night in the club, December 27th, 1999, shot in the face by Sean Puffy Combs. I was an innocent bystander.
Have you ever wondered what secret celebrities keep locked away, hidden from the prying eyes of the world? Well, brace yourselves, because this story is about to blow the lid off of one of the most scandalous sagas in Hollywood history. Picture this. Jennifer Lopez, America's sweetheart, the ultimate triple threat entertainer, finally deciding to break her silence on what went down during her tumultuous relationship with Sean Diddy Combs. Yes, folks, the same Diddy who's now at the center of a whirlwind of legal troubles. And let's just say the details are jaw-dropping, the stakes are sky-high, and the drama is piping hot.
Weapons charges. The defendants are charged with criminal possession of a weapon in the second degree and third degrees for the possession of loaded 9mm guns.
It all began back in the late 90s when J.Lo and Diddy were the ultimate power couple. Red carpets, paparazzi frenzy, matching designer looks. It was a partnership that screamed glitz and glamour. But behind the scenes, their relationship was anything but picture perfect. Stories of public arguments, wild parties, and whispered accusations swirled around the couple like a dark cloud. And then there was the infamous 1999 incident at Club New York, a night that would forever change the trajectory of their lives. Now, here's where things get messy. On that fateful night, J.Lo and Diddy found themselves at the center of a chaotic scene that escalated into violence. The details have been rehashed countless times, but let's break it down. The couple, along with Diddy's entourage, were partying at the Manhattan hotspot when an altercation broke out. Before anyone could make sense of what was happening, shots were fired and 3 people were injured. Pandemonium ensued, and the couple fled the scene only to be pursued by the police. When their vehicle was stopped, officers reportedly found a weapon, and just like that, J.Lo and Diddy became headline news for all the wrong reasons.
The charges against me are 100% false, and hopefully due to time, we'll start to see that. Thank you very much.
While Jennifer was cleared of any involvement relatively quickly, the scandal stuck to Diddy like glue. He was charged, went to trial, and somehow walked away with an acquittal, leaving many to wonder how he managed to dodge serious consequences. But here's the kicker. Whispers have persisted for years that Diddy used his power and influence to manipulate the narrative and protect himself. And now, with fresh allegations surfacing, those whispers are starting to sound a lot more like sirens.
I watched them, bow, bow, both of them fired, and the muzzle flash was like, psh, psh. Shyne's muzzle flash was a little higher. He was on the side closest to the bar.
Fast forward to today, and Diddy finds himself neck deep in lawsuits and accusations that paint a damning picture of his past. But it's Jennifer Lopez's potential testimony that has everyone talking. Rumors are swirling that she plans to take the stand and finally reveal the truth about what she witnessed during their time together. And according to insiders, it's not just about the events of that one night at Club New York. Oh no, this goes much deeper. For years, there have been murmurs that Diddy has been holding something over J.Lo's head, something that kept her from speaking out. Could it be true? Could be true? Could the music mogul, once one of the most powerful figures in the industry, really have resorted to such tactics to keep his secrets buried? And if so, what exactly does Jennifer know? The speculation is endless, but one thing's for sure. If she does testify, the revelations could send shockwaves through not just Hollywood, but the entire entertainment world. Adding fuel to the fire, new evidence has recently emerged from one of the victims of the Club New York incident. This individual, who has been seeking justice for years, claims to have information that directly implicates Diddy in orchestrating a cover-up. The details are murky, but what's clear is that this could be the smoking gun that changes everything. And with Jennifer Lopez's name now being dragged into the mix, the stakes couldn't be higher.
I got hit right here, in my nose, in between my eyes, which means I'm facing directly at you. Just like I'm looking at you and I can tell you got on black shades.
Let's not forget that J.Lo's relationship with Diddy wasn't exactly smooth sailing, even without the legal drama. The two were constantly making headlines for their public spats and high-profile reconciliations. Remember the photos of them arguing at parties? Or the stories of J.Lo storming out of events in tears? Their love story was as volatile as it was captivating, and it seemed like the whole world was watching their every move. But what most people didn't see was the toll it was taking on Jennifer behind closed doors. In interviews over the years, J.Lo has alluded to the challenges she faced during that time. She's spoken about feeling trapped, about questioning her future, and about ultimately realizing that she couldn't see herself building a life with someone who made her feel so uncertain. And now, with the benefit of hindsight, it seems that there may have been even more going on than anyone realized.
And I watched him shoot me. So, not to digress, it always bugs me when people say, "How can you be sure?"
What's particularly intriguing is how this all ties into Jennifer's recent personal life. As you probably know, she's been making headlines of her own lately, thanks to her high-profile split from Ben Affleck. The two had reunited after nearly 2 decades apart. only to call it quits again amidst whispers of tension and unresolved issues. Could J.Lo's decision to finally speak out about her past have played a role in her breakup with Ben? It's a tantalizing question, and one that fans can't stop speculating about. And here's another layer to the mystery. Jennifer's name has also been linked to other lawsuits involving Diddy and some of his associates. While she hasn't been accused of any wrongdoing, her proximity to these cases has raised eyebrows. Could it be that she holds key information that could blow these cases wide open? And if so, why has she stayed silent for so long? The possibilities are endless, and the anticipation is palpable.
Frame of mind, I was conscious, I was fully aware. I looked to the side, and I saw this guy laying on the floor. Under the lip.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves. For now, all eyes are on Jennifer Lopez as the world waits to see if she'll take the stand and finally shatter the web of silence that surrounded this saga for so long. Will she reveal the truth about what happened that night at Club New York? Will she shed light on the whispers of blackmail and coercion? And most importantly, will her testimony be the final nail in the coffin for Sean Diddy Combs? Imagine this. After decades of whispers, rumors, and speculation, one of the music industry's most infamous figures is finally being called out, not just by one person, but by a growing chorus of voices. And at the center of it all is none other than Moses Shyne Barrow, a former protege of Sean Diddy Combs who has been pulling back the curtain on a world of secrets and manipulation. Shyne, whose life story could rival a Hollywood script, is now speaking out about what really went on behind the scenes during his time with the music mogul. And let's just say it's not a pretty picture.
Moving around.
How old are you at this time?
I'm 42. I'm gonna be 43 next month.
And at this time with Diddy,
I was probably like 19.
19.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Shyne's history with Diddy is as complicated as it gets. He was once one of Diddy's rising stars signed to Bad Boy Records in the late 90s, but everything changed after that now infamous 1999 incident at Club New York. Shyne, like Diddy, found himself at the center of the legal storm that followed, but unlike his former mentor, he didn't walk away unscathed. Shyne was convicted and sentenced to nearly a decade behind bars, while Diddy, he was acquitted and went on to expand his empire. Over the years, Shyne has hinted that Diddy's actions, both before and during the trial, were far from honorable. And now, with Diddy facing a slew of new allegations, Shyne's words are starting to sound less like sour grapes and more like a warning that no one wanted to hear.
That night.
But I think your fans in some way believe you were wronged, not just by the legal system, but also by the
In recent interviews and even in his new Hulu documentary, Shyne hasn't held back. He claims that Diddy's legal team called witnesses during the trial that ultimately sealed Shyne's fate, despite pleas for them not to do so. Shyne has described this as a betrayal of the highest order, saying anyone that would send someone to jail deliberately is a monster. He even alleged that Diddy attempted to offer him money years later, an amount so laughably small, Shyne reportedly said, "You can't be serious." It's clear that Shyne's feelings toward Diddy are far from resolved, and who could blame him? He believes that his life was derailed so that Diddy could protect his own interests and avoid consequences.
All right, so L.A. Reid gave him $1 million to put out an album, and the album never came out.
But here's where things get even more interesting. Shyne's revelations are coming at a time when Diddy's reputation is already in freefall. Over the past year, the music mogul has been hit with lawsuit after lawsuit, each one painting an increasingly grim picture of his behavior. From allegations of coercion to claims of orchestrated schemes to silence his critics, the accusations are piling up, and Shyne's story adds yet another layer to the narrative. What's more, Shyne isn't just airing grievances about the past. He's also connecting the dots between his own experiences and current allegations against Diddy. And let's face it, when you hear these accounts side by side, it's hard not to wonder just how deep this rabbit hole goes.
You always have other people paying other people for things that people need them to pay for. That was just one.
Now, let's shift gears for a moment and talk about Jennifer Lopez. Because believe it or not, her recent divorce from Ben Affleck might actually be connected to all of this. Think about it, J.Lo has been navigating the fallout from her split while also being dragged into Diddy's legal drama. Could the two be intertwined? Some insiders certainly seem to think so. According to rumors, Lopez has been under immense pressure to speak out about what she knows, not just about Diddy, but about the wider web of silence that has allowed him to maintain his power for so long. And if there's one thing we know about Jennifer, it's that she doesn't take kindly to being controlled.
Sometimes you could think Puff is like a brother. It's easy to mistake Puff as a friend.
There's also the matter of timing. Jennifer's divorce comes as Diddy's legal troubles are making headlines around the world. Could it be that she's finally ready to break free from the shadows of her past and step into the light? After all, she's no stranger to reinvention. From her days as a fly girl on In Living Color to her status as a global superstar, J.Lo has always been about moving forward. But what if moving forward this time means confronting the ghosts of her past? What if her decision to end her marriage was, in part, about reclaiming her narrative and refusing to be silenced any longer?
and whatever else happened, everything broke out and some shooting occurred.
And speaking of being silenced, let's not forget about the other lawsuits that have been swirling around Diddy. Jennifer's name has come up more than once in connection to these cases, though she's never been directly implicated. Still, her proximity to the drama has raised questions. What does she know? What has she seen? And most importantly, what might she reveal if she does decide to take the stand? The speculation is endless, and the anticipation is palpable. For years, Jennifer has been a master of controlling her public image, carefully curating how the world sees her. But what if this time, her silence has been less about image control and more about genuine fear? Insiders have suggested that Jennifer has been under immense pressure to stay quiet about what she experienced during her time with Diddy. Some even claim that she was threatened with career repercussions if she ever spoke out. And let's not forget, this was a time when Diddy's influence in the entertainment world was at its peak. If the rumors are true, Jennifer could have been navigating a minefield torn between protecting herself and exposing the darker truths of her past.
That point really stuck out. I never heard you say it.
Yeah.
That you were the fall guy.
Well, that's the interesting thing. I believe that, the power of Diddy, the entertainer, the person that dominated pop culture, was so loud for so long that no one heard myself and my mom and my supporters.
What's even more fascinating is the timing of Jennifer's potential testimony. With Diddy's legal troubles dominating headlines, her voice could be the final piece of the puzzle. But it's not just about what she might say, it's also about the precedent it could set. If someone as high profile as Jennifer Lopez can step forward and share her experiences, it could inspire others to do the same. This isn't just a celebrity scandal anymore. It's a moment that could redefine accountability in the entertainment industry. And if there's one thing Jennifer has always been, it's a trailblazer. Adding another layer to this tangled web is the question of loyalty. Over the years, Jennifer has publicly avoided discussing Diddy, likely out of a mix of caution and respect for their shared history. But now, with everything on the line, will she feel a sense of obligation to protect him? Or will she prioritize her own truth and the opportunity to set the record straight? It's a moral dilemma that many have faced when breaking their silence about powerful figures, and it's one that could define Jennifer's legacy as much as her music or movies ever have.
I always said, that Diddy snitched on me, that he threw me under the bus, and that I was a sacrificial lamb. But, that's 26 years ago.
26 years ago.
So people don't remember, and I have moved on. So you asked why. This is more of a celebration than, dancing on Diddy's grave or wanting to even connect myself
in the documentary
to him.
And then there's the ripple effect. If Jennifer does decide to speak out, it won't just impact Diddy's reputation. It could send shockwaves through the entire industry. Other high-profile figures who have been linked to Diddy, either professionally or socially, might find themselves under renewed scrutiny. After all, Jennifer wasn't the only one in his orbit during those years. What other secrets could be hiding in plain sight? And how many of those secrets could come to light if Jennifer opens the floodgates?
The victim that night at the nightclub shooting, Natanya Rubin, has always said it was Sean Combs who shot her. You have always said you were innocent.
Yes.
You have never said Sean Combs fired the gun. Why?
Well, I didn't see him fire the gun, and I'm not going to lie.
Let's not forget the public's reaction to all of this. Jennifer has always had a loyal fan base, but even her most devoted supporters are eager for her to take a stand. Social media is already buzzing with speculation, with fans urging her to tell her truth and stand up for what's right. It's a rare moment where celebrity culture intersects with a larger cultural reckoning, and all eyes are on Jennifer to see how she'll rise to the occasion. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the world is waiting with bated breath. One of the most intriguing aspects of this entire saga is how it all ties back to the theme of power and control. Over the years, Diddy has built an empire, one that has allowed him to wield an extraordinary amount of influence. But as these allegations come to light, it's becoming increasingly clear that power can be a double-edged sword. The same influence that helped Diddy rise to the top could now be his downfall. And for Jennifer Lopez, who spent years in his orbit, this could be an opportunity to finally reclaim her own power.
Do you think that he did those things? Well, I know what he did to my family. And so the potential is there. As I said, he was just such a master of PR that he is so loud that people never hear the victims.
But let's not forget the broader implications here. If Jennifer does testify, it won't just be about her own experiences. It could also shine a spotlight on the culture of silence that has allowed figures like Diddy to operate unchecked for so long. And that's a conversation that goes far beyond Hollywood. It's about accountability, about justice, and about breaking the cycle of complicity that has kept so many people from speaking out. In many ways, Jennifer's testimony could be a turning point, not just for her, but for everyone who has ever felt silenced or powerless.
Look at Diddy, for instance. Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at him. Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at. He has videos. He has videos of the parties. Now, what I've heard, which I don't know how much of it is in mainstream media, I don't really follow the story that much, but what I've heard from friends that are attorneys, friends of mine that have represented me before, agents and so on, is there's a bidding war going on right now.
Of course, all of this is still speculation for now. Jennifer hasn't confirmed whether she'll take the stand, and Diddy's legal team is fighting tooth and nail to discredit the growing number of allegations against him. But one thing is clear, the stakes couldn't be higher for Diddy, for Jennifer, and for everyone else caught up in this web of scandal. The next few months could be life-changing. As the curtain falls on this chapter of Hollywood drama, we're left with more questions than answers. Could Jennifer Lopez's potential testimony truly dismantle Diddy's empire? And what secrets might she reveal? And how might her decisions impact not just her own future, but the broader conversation about power and accountability in the entertainment industry? The possibilities are endless, and the anticipation is electric. So, what do you think? Will J.Lo finally break her silence? And if she does, what shockwaves will her revelations send through Hollywood? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, stay tuned for more celebrity gossip and intrigue